Welcome back to Tahiti. After an incredible year in French Polynesia, we're in serious need of boat parts and supplies before we set sail for the Cook Islands.
I do not like this.
So I found a cheap flight, I called my brother, and a few days later we're sailing around the Society Islands.
We've got Singa and Jacob at the helm. Captain Jake. Admiral Singa.
It's been a year and a half since we last saw him in Panama.
Hey, Nikki, thanks for everything. Good to see you.
Memories.
See you soon.
We captured a few of our adventures, but we felt like it's important to be present in the moment and not spend too much time behind the lens.
You like it?
So good.
It's like that old sour spoon.
Oh, well.
Hello, reporting live from Mount Rotui in the background.
Oh. Fails. It's maybe 2 o'clock.
Going for this.
And we're going for this. Yeah. Feel like shots, right, Jake? Woo!
Shot.
Primed and ready.
Drink through the heat.
But before he leaves, we just have to know, what does he really think about boat life?
Very flavorful. Yeah.
Yeah.
40%.
Jason's brother is here. Well, this is his last day, actually. His last night, his last hurrah. And so we asked our patrons to, well, drill him with questions. And it's also hot and yet cloudy. So we're gonna head to the sandbar and do the Q&A there.
Some beers.
Yeah,
A beer and a.
a beer night. What are you two doing?
My pretzel's flimsy.
No comment. I was gonna hand you this camera so you can properly introduce Jacob.
This is Jacob.
Jacob.
He's my brother.
Tell me like how far apart you are and everything.
Right now we're about 3 feet apart. Oh, age-wise, 12 years. We are 12 years apart. I'm 25, so you can do the math to figure out how old Jason is. Family time in French Polynesia.
Where do you live?
I live in the U.S. in Charleston, South Carolina. The land of good food and good drinks.
All right, everybody in?
I think so.
Everybody's in. Okay. This was not a good idea.
It seemed like a great idea at the time. For better or for worse.
God.
I know we're so far away. We're probably also making everybody seasick with all the bombing. Oh, I so apologize. This is what happens when you try to mix work and pleasure.
In theory, it was a
It
brilliant
was a great idea.
Yeah. It just did not.
In reality, it did
The
not
weather,
work.
the weather just.
I think it could have been a perfect day and it still wouldn't have worked.
Now we're drinking pink drinks, so
Yeah.
can't complain about that.
So this is the
Q&A.
Brothers in Town, Brothers Aboard Q&A.
I have been out here for 10 days now, and I leave tomorrow. So,
Bright and early.
yes, bright, well, probably dark and early.
Dark and early, yeah. It will not be bright.
Yeah, but Jason's an early riser, so it's all
Yeah.
good.
I'll still go with you.
We'll see you in the morning.
I won't be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but I'll go. No, I can do it. I can do it. So Greg asks, what do you find to be the biggest adjustment to boat life?
I live in a townhome. Around the townhome, it's like you get home and you just there are certain things you don't even think about. Like when I get home, I throw all my clothes on the ground and I plop on the couch and I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
But here it never stops. There's always stuff to stuff to clean, stuff to do, stuff to maintain all the time.
John Woodward says, okay, this is a lot of questions, but very good questions. All right.
The first one wasn't good apparently, but John.
What fun behind the scenes things don't we get to see?
Singa, Cleo.
Oh goodness, cats fighting. You didn't see
Yeah.
that.
Did not get to see that. That literally happened
timing.
behind the scenes.
Good timing.
And Singa's crying because he has to go poop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, little things here and there of, you know, the culture or the food they eat or the fruit, the you know, the way they farm and all the cool things that they have like all around the islands that maybe you don't get to see a whole bunch of. I know Jason and Nikki try and get you kind of the most that they can, but like there's just, it's such a cool place to be. And all the, I mean, when I met up with you guys in the Bahamas and the islands we went to off of Panama, it was the same way. It's like there's only so much you can get on a camera.
Another thing you probably don't get to see as much on camera is That's What She Said jokes.
Yeah.
Every now and then we sneak one into a video, but
There's a lot of 8th grade humor.
I get a little bit smarter and a little bit dumber every time I come. Not saying who gives me which, but you can figure it out.
No pointing fingers. All right. Seeing how much fun your brother is having, does it make you want to do similar things?
It doesn't necessarily inspire me to do the things that they do because what I, you know, my wants and needs are different from theirs, and there's certain things that I like to do that they don't like to do, and vice versa. And definitely like being on the ship as many times as I have.
The ship, it sounds so official.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually think that's proper.
Okay. It sounds right.
Weird.
Being on the ship, it definitely makes me realize how much I appreciate coming out here and visiting. But at the same time, it's not like sailing's not for me for sure. It's definitely, there's certain.
Jacob also gets really seasick.
Yes, I get really seasick.
You're really seasick. I don't know.
Yeah,
No, I mean,
I
he
get
does
seasick.
pretty good, but he's...
Yeah, she's taking it a little bit too far. I get a little bit seasick.
Yeah.
But I do get seasick, and there's also just I love going to sleep and air conditioning and snuggling up under the covers and getting all warm. And here it's just hot all the time and humid
sweaty.
and oh goodness. So
But
go ahead.
is it more than just the air conditioning though, or is it just like?
Well, it's also, I mean, there's also the fact that like just friendships and relationships and just like constantly being around community. A sense of community is difficult. The sense of community that when I come and see Jason and Nikki, there's always sailors around and people will come up to them all the time and say hey and all this stuff, and it's awesome. And there's definitely that sailing community, but with that comes, you know, the acknowledgement that hey, maybe we're gonna hang out this week in this island, but then everybody goes their separate ways. Whereas I do enjoy being home and just being able to see my friends whenever I want.
Call them up on the phone, be like, yo, let's go see a movie, let's go get a beer.
Exactly. I don't have to worry about,
Yeah.
being in Wi-Fi signal to talk to my friends or family or anything like that. And there's definitely things that are difficult about the sailing life. And going back to what I said initially, like, they inspire me to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
Not necessarily what they want to do, but they definitely inspire me to do what I want to do.
Yeah. Be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Do the things you love.
For sure.
Do you watch all the videos? Not before, but now you watch more.
Yes. I didn't always watch the videos before. Now I watch every Sunday video fun day. I wake up in the morning and Alexis, my girlfriend, wonderful girlfriend, hi Alexis, she
won't see this because she'll be asleep.
She sleeps. She sleeps in the morning, and then I wake up early and I have my cup of coffee and I watch Sunday Video Fun Day, and it's a little bit, I only get to see them once a year if I'm lucky, and so it's nice. It feels like family time every Sunday, just getting there and sitting there and watching them.
Name one thing your envious Nikki and Jason get to do.
One thing I'm envious.
Just one, because I know there's a long list.
Yeah.
So many. I would say, and this isn't necessarily something that they get to do, but something that they've done.
Okay.
The whales were pretty dang cool.
Yeah.
And I was super jealous that I missed them a little bit. And that's a once in a lifetime experience for a lot of people, and and a lot of people don't even get the once.
Yeah.
So that was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that would have to be my answer so
Yeah.
far. Just because it's so fresh and recent, and just watching it was
It's
just
pretty
like,
epic,
whoa,
though.
yeah, that was pretty cool. But just like piggybacking off that, just all the cool nature stuff that they get to see, just being in these amazing places with all the coral reefs and the animals and sharks and stingrays and eels, and it's a completely different world down there, and it's amazing that they get to see it just front and center all the time.
Yeah, it's cool. I hope we don't take it for granted. All right, I thought this one was good, and I feel like because there were times where this week where we were working a lot. Do you feel stir crazy on the boat? Is there enough to keep you busy?
Yes. For me, I work remotely, so I was able to bring a lot of work with me. That being said, it was still a vacation, so I only worked a couple hours every day, maybe. I don't get stir crazy on the boat just because it's such an amazing place. I mean, even just sitting out, like, I brought a book, and Nikki has tons of like ebooks and things like that. And so just like sitting out on the front deck, and you're just looking at this amazing mountainous landscape of an island, and it's unreal. And if I want to hop on the stand-up paddle boards and go for a paddle, I can. If I want to go for a swim, if I want to go for a snorkel, if I want to just
Do some
paddle
push-ups.
over, if I want to paddle over to the beach and go for a walk or
Yeah.
You could
whatever,
literally do anything.
anything, yeah. And
So
so
you didn't
it's,
feel like stuck, or you didn't feel bored?
no, definitely not. I think that if you're open to the fact that you're in such an amazing place and just like really embracing it,
Yeah.
then there's no way you could get bored around here for sure.
What was the biggest change going from land to boat that surprised you? I don't know if that's more for us or for you, but either way, I think it goes both
Yeah.
directions.
Probably the biggest change, aside from like if we're traveling and obviously the sea
Yeah.
going up and down, and that's crazy.
The
house
10-foot waves
notes.
we had today,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
10-foot
we had some
waves,
crazy
just
waves.
like, whoa.
Yeah.
I would say aside from that, like constantly having to rinse things and get salt water off.
Yeah.
Like just, if you hop on the boat, it's like you gotta rinse everything off, you gotta rinse yourself off just to get all the salt water off so the salt water isn't eaten at the boat. That's probably the biggest thing, because when I live in Charleston's right there by the beach, so if I go home, I get home from the beach and I could go hop in my bed I don't, but I could go hop in my bed covered in salt water and sand, and nothing would be the worst,
Yeah.
really.
Except for that your bed would be salty and sandy.
But if you don't do it every day, then it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
really matter.
It's not the
Yeah.
same, and you don't live directly on the beach, so you don't deal with it.
You-
too. Yeah.
You're just not constantly surrounded by salt.
And
all
the
the
air
time.
conditioning
Yeah.
dehumidifies the salt. That's then it just turns into crystals, and then you wash your sheets, and it's fine. But here it's like the humidity just
Soaks
soaks it
up,
into everything.
and it never
Yeah.
dries, ever.
I think about the first time we picked you up in the Bahamas, then I sent you a screen grab from Google Earth and put a pin there, and I'm like, tell the taxi driver to bring you here
Yes.
on this random road in the middle of nowhere where the subdivision never got built.
Because
Yeah.
that was
Tell him to drop
the
you off.
easiest place for us to access land to pick
Yeah.
them up. So logistics is definitely like getting to land. Where's the easiest place to get to land? Groceries, like creature comforts, like daily life. It's all just so different.
Wasn't that weird, like telling the taxi
Oh, it
driver?
was super
like,
weird,
Take me here.
because
And
I
he's like,
had-
there's nothing there.
Like Jason gave me GPS coordinates, and so I printed off. I took like screenshots of basically like a Google Earth version
Yeah.
of where I was going,
Yeah.
and just like little screenshots. And so I had to show the taxi driver. He was like, "What's the address?" And I was like,
There's no
I was
address.
like, "Look, I have GPS and I have this." He was like, "Oh, I can't take you." I was like, "Okay, well, I'll find somebody else." He's like, "Okay, I'll take you. I'll take you." And so I'm like showing him, and I'm like, "Okay, you need to drop me off here." And he drives me, and we go, I don't know, we go maybe 7 miles, 6 or 7 miles, something like that, and pull off on this like,
Dirt road.
pull off on this dirt road next
Yeah.
to this canal, and it's like it was super. I was like, and he just dropped me off and then left me, and then I was like, just standing there with all my bags on the edge of this canal, nothing else is around, and just waiting on, hoping that Jason and Nikki. I don't know on my way back, hoping Jason and Nikki will come by and come pick me up, and they did, and thank goodness.
Yeah.
We're all thankful.
But I mean,
for that.
even for this time, Jason met you at the airport, so you didn't have to try to find your way to the random spot, which it totally is random.
Yes.
But still, like, you walk up and you like, it's just a little grassy knoll by a bridge.
Slippery rock thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I had my 50-pound bag
yeah.
full of stuff.
So we walked a mile and a half.
And Jason's got it over his neck here, just walking. I'm like, Jason, I can help you out, man. He's like, no, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, one of the many things very different about boat life versus land and visiting somebody on a boat. So this one is from Robin Herrick, and she said, what have you noticed Nikki and Jason doing differently this time on board versus the last time you were on board?
Or even maybe the first time.
Yeah.
The first 2 times, it was a real, I was put to work. This time they were just happy that I came, I think, and were just like, want me to keep coming maybe once a year so they didn't put me to work too much.
All right,
Oh, this time, Nikki let me drive.
Yes.
Yes,
They're
true.
comfortable enough and they're good enough teachers now that they let me drive all the way from Moorea to Tahiti, which was
through the cuts, through the passes, all the way literally until we were ready to drop the hook. And that's just because it's super shallow and there's bombies all around. Coral so no. But and we're having an issue with our GPS, so we can't use our autopilot right now. Jason, Jacob, jeez, I sound like your mom now. Jacob hand steered the entire way.
I did.
6 hours.
Nikki took a nap.
Yeah.
Totally.
Jason was working.
Yeah, working on the computer.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I took the helm. I really just, I just grabbed hold of the situation, did what I could. Just waves coming left and right. Wind,
literally left and right.
everything, and it was just like steady.
Yeah.
Just a steady hand.
Like
That's
a rock.
I've always been the steady hand of the family.
Way to go, Jake. Way to go.
Next question.
All right, last one from Robin, and I feel like this one's pretty important, so it needs to be answered. Which cat likes you better?
I think that neither of them, they're both such cool cats, and Cleo she's a little bit, she keeps a little bit more to herself, but sometimes she'll come up and just like give you a little nudge, and she'll let you love on her. And then Singa is just all over the place all the time. So neither of them is really like constantly craving human attention. So every little chance I get, I try and get it, but both of them get equally upset with me probably and all the time that I'm here. So
I think they both like you. Yeah.
They do. They just are what they are who they are.
They're cats. They're not like dogs. Yeah. Okay, so Patrick wants to know, when will we see full-time family crew? Can you imagine any one of our family members?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe
Gabe. But yeah.
So the brother-in-law is the only potential candidate.
Yeah.
He put on the bandana and he's in the kitchen with Nikki cutting stuff up and then sailing and then pulling lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's digging it, Except he can't swim.
Except for cancer.
Yeah, it's you definitely won't be seeing me full-time crewing. They're trying to convince me to come over for a passage, and after today, I'm done. Those waves were. I was like, I can't imagine doing this for 12 days or whatever it is.
I was like, now imagine this when you don't see land and the wind's twice as bad and there's like.
Not for me, guys. It's not for me.
I think one day, maybe you'll change your mind.
I don't know.
A couple more trips of not having to do boat chores.
We'll see. Yeah, that'll do it.
Okay, Walter Johansson asks, if you could instantly relocate your boat anywhere in the world, where would it be? I thought that was a good question. I have no freaking idea.
Yeah. So after you're leaving here and you want to visit somewhere else, where would that be?
Where would it be? I would love to instantly relocate to the Arctic. but not per
but
se
not
in this boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go for the Arctic.
Alaska.
Cold.
New
I would
Zealand.
say, I don't know, somewhere in the Mediterranean,
Mediterranean.
or I
That's
don't know,
Ruby
even
Rose,
New
you can
Zealand,
just
where
go
you
stay with
guys
them.
are.
Oh, yeah, New
you guys are
Zealand,
heading
yeah.
towards New Zealand. That
Yeah.
would be pretty cool. I've heard that's a fun place. It looks beautiful, so
Yeah.
that would be cool. Those two places probably for me.
Okay. We'll just wait a short bit and
Yeah.
it'll
It'll be just like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
transport.
just like that.
exactly.
It'll be a year later, and we're like.
So Bobby and Lisa Kogan, how much filming goes into a normal episode? Also, have you thought about a bloopers episode? And what is Jason and Nikki's work to play ratio? And how much sleep do they get a day?
Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So
The first two don't really apply to you.
the first two don't apply to me, but I can answer.
Oh, you think you know? Huh?
Maybe. I mean, I think it depends on the size of the video that they're shooting.
Yeah.
But I think they can knock it out. Just the filming part of it.
Oh.
The filming alone probably knock it out in less than a day. Usually, it depends. Sometimes over a couple days, depending on like. Obviously, when you're
What
out here, it's like
adventures
weather
are.
or what
Yeah.
adventures you're going on and everything. But the editing is like.
Yeah.
Editing takes all the post shooting process takes a while, and segueing from that, because this is about me and you guys don't get to answer.
Okay.
You guys are the Q's.
Yeah.
He's
the A.
I'm the A.
Paul.
What was I gonna say? Oh, work to play ratio. They're good about having a steady balance, and sometimes it's a little bit busier than others, and it's super hard to find that balance. But every day that I've been here, every day that I've been with them, there's always, maybe we work in the morning until lunchtime or just after lunchtime or whatever, and then it's like we gotta squeeze in our hour with nature or our 2 hours, like paddling or snorkeling or doing something fun, doing something active to stay healthy, but also to like,
Enjoy
hey,
it.
we're in this beautiful place, like we gotta enjoy the heck out of it. We can't just be working all day. So that's definitely that they're very good at that. So that's something that I try and implement in my daily life too, is just trying to find that balance and like knowing when to just say, okay, well, work's done for the day, go have some fun.
I think that's everybody's struggle. I don't think it matters where you are or what you do. I think.
Well, she's having family or friends here forces us to live that even more.
We definitely strike a better
true.
balance when we have
Yeah.
people with us than when we don't. 'Cause otherwise, we'll just work like dogs, and then we get burned out, and then we're like, "Oh, okay, we should have somebody come out so that we'll take a break."
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Okay, very good question. Oh, just quick reference. Would you say
Oh, time-wise, like,
just editing process alone is
Yeah, editing alone, an hour, a
per
minute.
minute?
Approximately.
Yeah, so if it's a 20-minute video, you can assume it was 20
about
hours
20
of work.
hours, yeah. That's pretty close. And then if it's a 20-minute
Varies.
video, it probably took us 2 days to film, because it probably spans 2 days.
Yeah.
And unless there's a night time lapse in there, then that takes 8 hours.
Yeah. Night time lapses are extremely time intensive. Not that if we make it nice, we take like a beverage and
Get that fly!
get it.
Get that fly!
Sometimes music or a
Where the hell are
movie
these
or
flies
whatever.
coming from?
I have no idea. We're getting inundated all of a sudden. It's the lights. Anyway, so 1 minute equals 1 hour ish.
Ish. Yeah.
If it's a whale video,
Oh, God. No.
we shot way too much.
No.
I shot way too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, it was a month worth of
filming.
Yeah. Curtis Laguna, now that you're several years into full-time sailing, can you see yourselves doing it for the rest of your lives? Do you think that you will settle down back on the hard in a few years? And I feel like we've kind of been talking about this a little bit throughout the week that you've been here, so I feel like it's a relevant question.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Just scoop it out of there.
Singa.
Eat the bug. Settling down is a word that I can't comprehend, I guess. Like, that does not fit into what I envision, I guess, in my future.
Yeah.
Like, moving slow, yes, but not picking one place and buying land and, like, really digging in and, like, growing roots. It's so weird to think about.
And we talked to Jacob about, like, well, maybe we get a house or something somewhere, and we can all, like a family house, and we can keep an RV there, like somewhere in the mountains or something. But
Gives us like a base camp or something,
know.
but
yeah.
yeah.
If you know what you're gonna be doing in 20 years, then something's wrong with you.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Jennifer S. Do Nikki and Jason's experiences and adventures make you long for your own? Which I think, yeah, we've already kind of said that.
Yep.
Would you start with an RV or the sailor's life? I don't think either one, probably, unless you tell
I
me
go
different.
RV over sailor for sure.
Or like
I could
a
definitely.
van or
Yeah, I
RV
could
or
definitely. Our RVing is definitely more my speed than sailing for
Yeah.
sure. I definitely haven't like ruled that out. I haven't seriously thought about it, but it's definitely something that if I don't know, if Alexis and I wanted to do, then we'd do it.
You do it, yeah.
Yeah.
I could see you in like a van, like
Yeah.
a cool van, or like an old camper or something.
Yeah, or taking like maybe like a gap year or something like that, just to like go travel or sabbatical, whatever you want to call it. I don't
Yeah.
know, but like 6 months or something like
Mhm.
that.
That sounds fun.
Oh, I liked this. Good question, Jennifer. If someone had told you 15 years ago that Jason would become an explorer traveling the world, what would have been your response? Because 15 years ago, you would
I
have
was
been
10 years old. So at 10, maybe we'll go to 15.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll
Maybe
jump
when
to
you're starting high school or
We'll
something.
say-
Yeah,
yeah.
that's probably good.
If somebody were to ask me that, I wouldn't say no, but the thought wouldn't come to my head. Like I wouldn't say, oh, Jason and Nikki, like or Jason's a big adventurer, or Jason and Nikki, they're big adventurers. They're gonna go travel the world. It never would have. I mean, and I think for them it was a difficult thing to like. It wasn't
We didn't
something
plan
you
it.
had. Yeah, you didn't have it, and it was all of a sudden it was just like, hey, we'll go get an RV and we'll go do it.
Yeah.
And
And we'll keep doing it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I would say no, I wouldn't say that. But they've always been super, and also not to mention their lives in Dallas were pretty good.
Yeah.
They were successful. They were, had a lot of friends. Had just, I don't know. Jason was always a good brother and invited me, 12 years younger, to a lot of things that he didn't necessarily have to invite me to because I was so much younger. But is definitely like meeting his friends and everything. He kind of brought me into that circle and just like they had a good thing in Dallas for sure with everything that they had, and it all the power to them for saying, you know what, we have all these great relationships, we have all these great friendships, but there's more great relationships and there's more great experiences and friendships out there all over the world, and we're gonna go get it. And so it's definitely something that I could see them doing. I wouldn't say no to it, but if I were to be asked the question, I wouldn't necessarily jump over and be like, oh yeah, they're traveling people when that long ago.
Yeah. Like we traveled, yes, for work a lot and for occasionally for pleasure, like once a year, typical vacation, American vacation especially, week, maybe two. But I think the bigger thing that Jacob's trying to hit on, which is the fact that we didn't have some big life change. There wasn't something that drove us away, or that we didn't
get fired from a job or lose a job or anything
right,
like that.
And this wasn't like a lifelong dream that everybody had been expecting us, leading up to. It was something where everything was really good. We had established ourselves with work and career and everything else. And then one day we just up and tell everybody that we're leaving. They're like, why would you do that? So it was more of a shock. It wasn't something didn't happen that kind of opened up this opportunity. It was something we just decided to do. And that, I think, is what took everybody mostly by surprise.
Yeah.
Lawrence wants to know, Lawrence Phelps, would you be skinnier or heavier without Nikki's cooking? He's asking about Jason.
Jason's going to be the same size. It doesn't matter how, he's a human garbage disposal.
You want some brownies?
Yeah, seriously. He made us eat brownies for breakfast this morning. I've never, he just eats and eats and eats, and it just falls right off him. He's very lucky for that. So, no, he wouldn't be any skinnier or any fatter. It doesn't matter how much he ate or worked out or...
Yep.
I don't know. Didn't eat. He's just be the exact same. He is what he is.
does the filming schedule get in the way of your vacation fun? I feel like we touched on that a little bit, but that's still kind of a more specific question.
A little bit. Yeah, it doesn't, just because I just come out here to spend time with Jason and Nikki, and it doesn't matter really if we're filming or snorkeling or hanging out on the boat or whatever. This is my family time with them that I get occasionally, and that's why I come out here. So they can use me to clean the boat, they can use me to film or whatever they need. I'm just happy to be there with them and get to spend some time with them for sure, because it's, like growing up, like you guys, ooh. That's weird. We were talking about this the other day. Yeah. Anyways, I think it was just the pink.
But Clip,
it's
just pink.
But growing up, it was like, growing up, they're always right there, and so it was like, I actually interned for Jason one summer. Whew.
Lord.
Sorry, it's my bad.
Okay.
I interned for Jason one summer and got to go to Hawaii and do all these cool things and spend a whole bunch of time with him, and that was cool. But before I went all crazy there, it was nice having them right there, and we would do a lot of stuff together and go on mountain biking trips and go on all these cool, we do a lot of cool stuff together as a family.
Yeah.
And that's tough because it's just tough. You guys are far away, and any chance I do get to come see you guys, I do try. But when you're halfway across the world, sometimes it's tough with work and money and it's just all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot. It's a big ask.
It is a big ask, yeah. And I think that's hard because so many people think, oh my gosh, how could you just not jump on every opportunity? But I feel like that's a perfect...
3 flights to get out here. It took you a day and a half.
For sure. And my girlfriend, Alexis, she couldn't come. She was just starting a new job, and it's there's just so much that goes into
planning a trip like this.
I mean, even in the state, even if we're in the same country, getting on a flight and going to see someone and making it work. As you get older, you have different relationships, and it just becomes harder as a family to come all together. And so it's nice. Yeah. It's nice when we do get a chance to all come together, but it doesn't happen as much as it used to for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So.
Well, okay, so for example, to go back to her question, today, this is just a simple Q&A that should maybe take 20 or 30 minutes, but it took us 5 hours.
Yeah.
So, yes, filming gets in the way. We were supposed to go snorkel in this airplane, this deserted airplane that crashed, and we're going to get a photo of Jacob so he could show, he could tout on Instagram, oh, look at me in this plane underwater. That didn't happen.
No.
It doesn't get in the way, it just changes.
Oh, $300 polarizer, you crazy cat.
Oh, goodness.
Can't leave your toys around.
Oh, okay.
Crazy old cat.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it just changes plans.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it doesn't make the time any less valuable or anything that. Obviously, it, for them it's work and maybe it's not as fun as other things, but for me it's just it's time together, and so it's just not ruining anything. It just changes plans.
Yeah.
Won't forget that. Going over there and 30 knots of wind coming that way, and then the wind shifted and rain, and when 30 knots of wind coming that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of that is just us having a wild hair idea and trying to make it happen, and it was not really probably, if we would have thought about it long enough, we would have realized it wasn't a good idea, but why do that? So I also feel like there's so many times where it causes us to do things we wouldn't have done otherwise anyway, whether that's get out, whether that's go see something, do something, whatever, because you think, we should share that. So we should go do that. We should go explore because people will want to see that. Our patrons, will want to see this, or whatever the case may be. So sometimes it's a push in a very good way. Yeah. I feel like, to make us go do something that otherwise we might kind of cop out and just say, oh, let's just veg out instead. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So last question, actually.
Ooh.
Would like to see okay, sorry. This one's about the composting toilet. So, sorry, Gary. We said we were not, but it was a request for a video about the composting toilet. He said because they're only on the Bahamas videos, so if we've already covered that, but we have not covered that, and yes, it is on our list of to-do things is to cover the composting toilet on a boat because he's very curious, and he says there's not many people that talk about it.
And everybody that comes here and stays with us uses the composting.
Yes. Okay. So here's the question for you. There we go. Jacob, thoughts on the composting toilet?
Did you ever use it in the RV? I don't think you stayed with us in the RV.
I never peed or pooped in the RV. I stayed in the RV, but I believe I peed or pooped elsewhere. While staying.
Because it was usually like we were like
At a
in
campground
like
or something.
Yeah, exactly. The composting toilet isn't really all that much more difficult or anything. It's great. I mean, it's from my experience. There's just a couple more steps, and it's no more uncomfortable going to the restroom. It's no, I mean, you just there's just a couple more steps involved. Really, I mean, kind of should I go into specifics?
I don't even know if it's more. No, I don't think it's more steps. I think it's just different steps.
Yeah,
different steps
because you're not pushing a button to flush. Instead, you turn the knob.
Yeah. Exactly.
Draining the pee. The draining the pee part is probably the worst part.
And the spritz.
And the spritz, yeah, you spritz after you pee. But I think most people are wondering, like, was it difficult for you to get used to? I mean, you just kind of used the toilet and you didn't have any problems, but...
No, it's not. It's just, it's no more or less comfortable or easy to use than a regular toilet. You just...
And then do you feel like does it smell any different to you?
No, it doesn't smell any different at all. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta keep the lid down to keep the demons in, as Jason would say. Yeah, keep the feng shui.
Yeah. Demons feng shui. Worse.
But no, it doesn't. I don't ever smell anything weird or anything like that.
Yeah.
And even one time you used it with your girlfriend at the time.
Oh yeah, Alexis, because she joined us when we were in Panama.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you guys both used it. Oh yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Man.
Jeez, so sick.
Where are you, Alexis?
Darn.
Jobs.
Yeah. So we both used it, and it was never any issue at all.
Cool.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Yeah. Okay. Any last, I don't know, thoughts for anybody? Because I mean, most of these people, some of them have met us like at a meetup or something like that. Plenty have never met us in person ever, but they generously help fund these videos so that we can keep them coming out every week. So obviously they're very passionate about what we do. Anything else you think? Do you have any final thoughts or anything you want to say?
No, I mean it's cool that I can definitely, I know you guys see why they are as successful as they are, and just like they're such awesome people, and I guess what I would say is just like they're exactly. What I would say is just they are who they are. There's no, when you get into the, when you get behind a camera, it's difficult to be who you are. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. And I think a lot of people choose not to do that and choose to be somebody else. But what you see on the camera and what you see Jason and Nikki and all the cats doing, that's just who they are. And for better or worse.
Yeah.
And it's awesome because you guys get to get a glimpse into, what I've obviously known for my whole life, and it's just like it's cool and it's cool for me that I get to check it out every Sunday and continue to like see where all they're going and everything. And I definitely, that's really all I have to say. It's just it's cool that you guys are supporting, and if you haven't met them, if you ever get a chance, if they're ever in your area, definitely meet them, and you'll see for yourselves that they are exactly who they appear to be. Maybe a little bit less pretty, not on the camera, but definitely the exact people they.
Thanks,
I love you guys. Y'all are pretty.
Not less pretty. That was a double negative.
Yeah.
Which means it's a positive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we actually said you're more beautiful.
Oh, see, exactly.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
I just want you to know, Jacob, that we didn't invite you just because we needed parts, and we didn't invite you just because Nikki's computer was dying.
It felt
we
that way.
needed a new one. We actually wanted to see you.
Okay, well that's
We
good.
did want to
I'm
see you.
glad.
It
But we
wasn't
needed
just
the
about the
computer.
mule run.
Yeah, but
But we're also very thankful you brought all that stuff out. Yeah.
that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's Jacob. That was family time.
Yeah.
Thank you for all of the questions. Thank you for your support. And now we're gonna have dinner.
Woo!
I'm empty.
Yep.
I'm not.
You had the biggest glass.